Hello, everyone. Welcome to another drawing session with Fontroy. Today, I'm going to be going over the basics. Well, one of the basics, and it gets I can't say it gets no more basic than this, but it gets no more basic than this. We're actually going over the human head. So, I've been talking to a couple of viewers, and they would like for me to start going over some more some more of the level one stuff. So I'm going to make sure that I do that. Um, right now, I have my canvas, which is, it doesn't matter what size of the canvas you decide to work with. I usually go with 11 by 17, or I'll go with 8.5 by 11, standard sheet of paper, just in case I want to, I end up wanting to print it out or something like that. So when it comes to drawing the human head, usually just start off with a good sized circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but you want it to be relatively even on both sides. Now, once I do that, that's when I decide to kind of draw a curved out V. This will be the chin slash, the jaw line slash, I guess you could say chin. And the V would be connecting one side of the circle from the other side. Then I like to cut it right down the middle with a line. Okay, the top of the line should start in the middle of the circle, and it should go all the way down to the chin. Okay, now it's okay if it doesn't, if it's not perfect immediately, because you can always go back and fix it. But you want to make sure that it's So yeah, you don't want to. It don't need to be absolutely perfect on the first go, but you want to make sure that it's relatively in the center. Okay, you want to make sure that it's a good, it's a good amount of distance or the same amount of distance between, both sides. So once you do that, then you draw a line from where once where the circle and the jaw overlap. That's where you want to draw the line. That's where you draw a line going across. Okay, that will essentially be your eye line. Okay, it's not going to be your brow line. Your brow line is actually a little bit above that, but this is going to be your eye line where your eyes tend to sit. Okay, once I get down a little bit further at the base of the circle, I'm going to draw a short little line that's going to represent where my nose is going to sit. And I would say maybe about an inch and a half below that, I'm going to actually draw a slightly wider line, which is going to be where my mouth sits. Not the lip, but the split between the top lip and the bottom lip. So then go back up to my divider line going across, or my horizontal line, and I'm going to draw my eyeball. I'm sorry, my eyes. Eyeball always sound abrasive. Um, now in this exercise, I'm actually trying to draw as if I'm drawing on paper. So I know that I'm using Photoshop, and I could very easily just copy and paste a lot of these things, but I'm trying to do this for people who are drawing in Photoshop, and people who are also drawing traditionally as well. So I want to give them the opportunity to just simply learn how to fix things as well. um then I'm going to go back to my nose. I could work on the nostrils a little bit. Well, this is the ends of the nostrils. Now, there's no universal shape of nostrils. Okay, there's no universal. Honestly, there's no universal shape of any of these things that I'm drawing. So when I end up drawing these things, I tend to end up getting getting the same generic person, and the same generic person kind of resembles me a little bit, but not so much, because the entire time I'm fighting myself to try to avoid drawing something that looks like me. um so I have the nostrils drawn out. Then then I draw the little button of the nose. um this guy could vary in size, but I usually draw kind of like a circle. I sketch out a circle, and then I have these two lines that will kind of veer off near the base of it. That will give it give you your actual nostril itself. Um, Then I'm going to go back to my lips. You see that your lips could vary in shapes. It doesn't really matter. I tend to go with at least in these examples, I like to go with the generic. It's kind of just like a curved line going downwards, then horizontal for a second, then going back up. Here I'm zooming in on my eyeball. My eyeball. I'm sorry, my eye. Um, Now, here, this is an important tip. Well, this a tip that I like to give my artists that are learning. When it comes to drawing the pupil, okay, when it comes to drawing the pupil and the iris and all of that, um, I like to have the iris, the part that's usually a different color, whether it be brown, black, blue, green, yellow, whatever. I like to have at a relaxing state or at a relaxed state. I like the iris to curve down and basically touch the bottom eyelid. Okay. There'll be times that I would see people draw an eye, and when when the iris is completely exposed, it looked like they're shocked. It looked like the person is shocked, and I promise you, is not really. That's not the plan in a lot of cases. So I like to have the eye looking relaxed when I draw it, and my way of doing that is making sure that the iris is touching the bottom eyelid. It could actually touch it, or it can actually go beyond it as long as it's touching it somehow, so that you can give it a nice relaxed look. But anyways, next is the eyebrows. Eyebrows vary in different sizes. I'm actually going to do another video focusing on hair and eyebrows and stuff like that, because there's multiple different ways to do it, and depends on what you're trying to go for. A little bit of overlap over the eye, some lines that would insinuate a eyelid. It doesn't have to be super defined, but it doesn't hurt to have something. Um, when it comes to subtle definition like that, you want to make sure that you're careful with those, because when you give people a very defined eye line, not eye line, but a defined facial line like that, it could also determine their age. So although you could be drawing someone that could be, I don't know, early 20s, but if you're giving them heavy facial lines, that would, despite where the facial line is, if you're giving them heavy facial lines, that could determine that they're not 20, they're 40, they're 45, or something like that. So yeah, just make sure that you're careful with that. So once I did my eyebrow, I go to my ear, and my ear is just gonna be kind of like a kind of a jacked up C that's facing the head, and my ear always line up with my eye line. Okay, so I like to put my pencil at the actual line that I drew, the horizontal line that I drew, and I will go upwards for first, then I will swoop back down to create my ear, and my ear would finally finish off at the nose. Okay, so if you take your pointer finger and your thumb and line it up with your ear, your pointer finger at the top and your thumb at the bottom, and you kind of like drag those two fingers over to your face, you're going to see that one touches your eye and the other one should touch your nose. Okay, so I'll go back and I do the same thing with the other eye. um yes, again, I could very easily sketch this out, but I could very easily copy and paste, but I'm doing this for my traditional artists as well, and I want you all to be able to see the different things that you could be doing. All right, so second eye is drawn out. Then the eyebrow. Secondary ear, again, is supposed to line up with the other, supposed to line up with the horizontal line going across the head. Then the hairline could change, based on the shape of the head, based on who you're drawing. Um, in this case, I was trying to just go for a generic person, no distinct features, but features that will be, features that you could very easily recognize. Finish the lip. All right. So it's looking pretty decent so far. It's not looking too bad, but I have a feeling that something's wrong. So, ugh, yeah, something's wrong. When it comes to drawing symmetrical images such as this, it's very easy to get caught up with one side or to get an oblong like face such as this. And there's a couple of solutions to it. When it comes to digital illustration, you could very easily just use your lasso tool and kind of select the area that you want to fix, and you could warp it, which I'm going to do in a couple seconds. Now, for the traditional artist, remember this is supposed to be a lesson for both. I would recommend keeping a mirror close by for when you want to check your progress. The mirror simply is just going to reverse your image, and it's going to allow you to figure out what is out of place, what is crooked, what isn't, and it allows you to fix it before you start adding any shading or anything like that. But when it comes to drawing in general, you always want to go get with the anatomy first. You want the frame of it first. The circle, then the curved V. You have the line going down the center. You have the line going across horizontally. And then you could add all the details, okay? It's very easy for you to lose yourself if you're adding the details first, then trying to figure out, oh, well, this eye is off, this is off, this is wrong, and stuff like that. So I would definitely encourage you all to work on the basics first, then developing upon that with details. So now I'm adding, I'm solidifying the chin, solidifying the jawline. I wanted to give them a little curve, and we have this really awesome tool in Photoshop, which are just guides. Now they snap to however you want, wherever you want them to, and right now I'm just going to snap them right down the center and right across, so I can make sure that everything is evened out. Now, as you can see, that the ear is a little off, but I'm going to fix that shortly. But everything else is pretty accurate. He could probably use a haircut, probably a shape up, but there you go. There you have it. You're gonna see this guy again because I'm gonna actually do a couple more. But I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.